Hello everybody, we're back and here with me is, well, not here exactly, but with me is Charlene Putney, who is a game writer and is a very interesting person. I believe she has a lot to talk about, and yeah, I researched her, but I think it's best for you to let her present herself and tell you more about her. So Charlene, can you tell the viewers more about you? Because I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
Sure. So I'm a writer, a games writer. I work for Larian Studios. We made recently Divinity Original Sin 2, and we're working on our next big thing now, which I can't say anything about. I used to work I used to work as a product manager in Google and Facebook before I moved to games. So I also have a lot of project management experience. But my main thing is writing, and I love writing, and writing for games is the best.
Can you tell us more about which games have you written for? Like, Divinity in your portfolio?
Yeah, so I spent 3 years working on Divinity Original Sin 2, and before that I worked on Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition. And then other than that, I've really just worked on smaller Twine games and some kind of art projects for people in Ireland, which is where I'm from, even though I don't live there anymore. But really, Divinity has been my games writing career.
Awesome. So how many years have you been writing for games for?
It'll be 6 in 2 months.
6 years of writing. So
Yeah.
you've done some project management prior to that, or along with it? How does that work?
Yeah, before that, so I worked in Google for like 4 years as a product manager, and then I left there and I worked in Facebook for 3 and a bit years, also as a product manager, and left there, and then began working by myself.
So when did you start going to game jams? Did you attend game jams actually?
The first game jam I went to was in Northern Ireland in 2013, I think. Yeah, in early 2013. And I taught myself how to use Twine. Huh?
2015.
No, 2013.
13, okay.
Yeah. And I thought I taught myself how to use Twine and went on from there.
Okay.
So they've been actually super useful for me.
So how many game jams have you been to in total?
I have no idea, but I've only been to one global game jam. But I think it must be about 10, maybe more.
10 game jams.
Yeah.
Whoa. So how does the writing thing go with game jamming? I mean, I'm a programmer and a game designer, and I'm not familiar with game writing at all. And it's interesting to know how does a game writer fit into the whole process of the 48 hours marathon? How do you
I mean, so I guess the key thing is like at the very start, when it's time to think about the theme and pulling together inspiration and ideas for that, that's the best time for a writer to be involved, because that's when they can sit down, breathe, write, think, get ideas, and gives it kind of ideas and inspiration to the rest of the team. Then there's like writing dialogue and writing UI and making sure that stuff looks nice and feels good, making sure that the narrative makes sense and is cohesive. I have the only kind of successes I've had as a writer at game jams have been when I worked by myself and just did my own game and did everything by myself. Yeah, I think I've done that 3 times, and each time it's been really nice because I'll make some crappy art and some pretty crappy everything else, but the writing is good and it's all about the writing. I think it would be kind of frustrating for somebody else to work with a writer on something like that. But the best time I had at a game jam was Nordic Game Jam last year, because I was just there as a guest speaker, and then I could actually just wander around the hall. I think there was thousands of people there, and I could just wander around and kind of set myself up at a little desk, and then anytime anyone had a question about writing or narrative or dialogue, I could give them a bit of a hand. And I think that's the best place for a writer at a game jam, is just helping lots of teams rather than being the one person in a team.
Yeah, I can relate to that actually. I can imagine, because otherwise you make this one game, but the way you've done it, you've made a lot of games basically. You've worked on a lot of games.
Yeah, you get to have a little part in everything, and it's really fun, and you get to do interesting challenges, and you get to learn a lot actually as a writer from trying to help lots of individual teams more than just doing your own thing that you know.
can you tell me something that comes to mind in particular, or that you've learned during a game jam? Something cool that you like, that you had an aha moment for example.
Not now, no. I'm really bad at thinking of answers to things on the spot. It's I'll think of it at 2 a.m. tonight and wake up.
Okay, I'm not gonna go there. But yeah, I can relate to that. So how does is it easy for how hard is it for a game writer to kind of make this context switch between different projects and different games and different games needs on a game jam? So
I mean, for me, it's quite easy, but I don't know for other people. But like for me, the whole thing about the game jam is the energy and the vibe and all the people and the kind of everybody is there together trying to create something, creating interesting things together. And so just being in that kind of very alive, very frenzied, very manic energy makes it really easy to do that context switching pretty fast.
Okay, so yeah, you're pretty exposed to it. Okay, yeah, that sounds really awesome. Because for me, for example, because this year I'm offering mentoring help with programming in Unity, and for me it's actually kind of hard in the beginning because this team drags me in and shows me their code, and I'm like, come on, what am I supposed to do now? Where do I start? What's happening here? I need to get acquainted with the project needs, and for me it's actually a lot harder. Maybe I couldn't. I mean, yeah, I have the same excitement and the same energy, but it takes a little bit more time for me to do this context switch. Okay, so you said you were offering help for Plovdiv Game Jam's participants, but we didn't get to that. We haven't gotten to that yet, and I believe maybe nobody's in need.
Yeah, nobody wants any help.
Yeah, nobody.
And I believe that actually.
Sorry?
I admire that, you know. I admire people going in and knowing what they want to do and just doing it, and I think that's cool. So
I think this year's topic was this year's theme was contributed to that a lot, because I don't know what you think about it. It was in my opinion, it's not as much exciting as previous years. Like for example, my favorite theme was the wave theme, 2017. But,
mine was ritual.
Yeah, a lot of people like ritual too. Ritual is my second favorite, and then it's transmission. But this year's theme is, what does home mean to you? And yeah, what do you think about it?
I think I actually think it's a super nice theme because it's extremely personal. But again, what does home mean to you means that you're going to want to make something that's super personal to you, or at least to the people that you're with. And so the team that you're part of probably is going to be people who have a similar feeling about what home is than you do. And I don't know, I think that's a bit interesting and a bit difficult, because home means different things to everybody. Okay. Like, I don't know, I was when I saw the theme, I only saw it this morning when I woke up, and I just thought to myself, I was going to make a cup of coffee for my partner and bring it in and put it beside him, and then just like a little post-it, just my submission for Global Game Jam 2019, because I don't know, that's what home means to me. So I don't know how to make that into a game. I couldn't think of anything cool to make a game out of it this morning off the top of my head. That's
actually I can think of several cool things involving that, actually. So I think it's a pretty interesting topic. But as I say, it wasn't as exciting for me. Like you said, it's very personal. So I'm expecting to see some degree of coziness in the teams, you know, if you get what I mean, because like you said, it's a personal thing, and people would have to be able to relate to each other when making this project. Because and
I think it'll also have a lot of different, like worldwide, there'll be very, very different kind of submissions, because I don't know, people who live in difficult places, like war-torn places, any places where there's a lot of bad things happening, you know, like America, are going to have really different ideas of, at this moment in time, what home means to them compared to if home is just comfort to you.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I believe that this year the cultural background will also play a big role in this, because, you know, home is different in different cultures. So yeah, that's also something to think about. I didn't think about that, but now that you say it, it comes to me. Well, are you are you going to participate in the Global Game Jam in some other form other than helping participants online, or?
No, not this year. It's snowing really heavily here in Copenhagen, so I'm going to go and walk around the lakes in the snow. That's my thing. But I will be jamming at Nordic Game Jam in a few weeks. So that will be
When is the Nordic Game Jam?
It is in April.
April. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be snow, I guess, in April.
No, there won't be snow then. It'll be nice here.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here with us and sharing your experiences. That was super interesting for me. I'm very sorry that we don't have much time, because otherwise I would have loved to talk to you more about these things.
Don't worry, Mika.
Yeah,
maybe next year.
I really enjoyed the conversation. But yeah, thank you once again, and have a great walk. And I hope and it feels like home to you.
Yeah, enjoy. Bye.
Bye-bye.